Check it out. Isn't that sweet? Look at all the, you can see all the plants. Look at that. See the two different colors. That's Rena PO2 102. The binary. You can barely see his mom. Yeah. Same with the other side. Boom. Check it out. Yeah. See the red dragon behind it? That's sweet. Since we agree on that, we're about to put that sun simulator and any other man-made object reflecting the light to Earth. No, because we're going to use God's truths, which is math and science. Alright, so proposing any sun simulator, reflector, mirror, magnifier, array, all kinds of questions start. And when you start with it and you begin, asking basic questions, they can't even, come up with a, answer for them. Like who built it? How much did it cost? How was it manufactured? Who delivered? Who prepped it to go to space? Who took it to the launch pad? Who launched it into space? Those questions they can't even answer. That's a monumental effort right there, what they're proposing. And then when you get into the even tougher questions, like, who built it in space? What keeps the circuitry from frying up from the cosmic rays? What keeps it in a stationary orbit, against the gravitational forces, from everything, when they don't have, when the device doesn't have its own gravitation. So they'll just get tugged back and forth, because they don't have their own gravitational force to to combat it. So you got that fact. How are you going to keep it in a stationary orbit against the solar wind? The thing would be moving around. How are you going to keep it cool? The thing is probably going to reach like 2,000 Kelvin. How are you going to do that? Simple antifreeze ain't going to work. Remember, it goes to two extremes: very hot and very cold, down at like 236 below zero, right? 1 degree above absolute zero is space. See, look, it looks like a dog. Straight with two eyes. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? So you can't answer those questions. And then you get into the really difficult questions, like, how do you compensate for both the Earth and Sun's wobble? How do you compensate for the way Earth dips and dives in its orbit around the Sun? Not only that, we're being tugged. So how are you going to keep it in a stationary orbit? And then you got to figure if it's a mirror or a lens or whatever, something that reflects the sun. You got to figure if it's a mirror, it's going to have to be polished every so often. Just like telescopes here on Earth need periodic polishing. So would them in space. So who's going to go up there and polish these things? Or it would warp the light. How do you keep it directly in the middle of the sun with all that? See, you can't answer those questions. And then simple scientific answers come up with your hexagon theories. The people say, this is a hexagon, look, it must be. No, it ain't. Light bends. The atmosphere, when it's round, bends the light perfectly. Once you poke at that light, it returns back into its straight normal course, which is a beam or a ray. So you got to understand, once you bend it, people say, well, why is it a hexagonal shape? Well, again, God's perfection comes into play because it's the first geometrical shape that can hold a circle. Again, perfect. And if you look and you do your research, you will see the same pattern on Saturn. Well, okay, is there a sun simulator on Saturn? No. The reason why Saturn gets the hexagonal shape is because its moon tugs on its atmosphere. Believe it or not, and some of you Nibiru cats don't know this, believe it or not, if you put Saturn in water, in salt water, it will float like a wiffle ball. See, that's how little you know. Saturn actually radiates more heat than it receives from the sun. Again, when you guys begin to know things, you will know this. And they get the same hexagonal shape at the pole. NASA filmed it. Well, how did they get it? Well, the atmosphere is bending the light into the first geometrical shape that can hold a circle. Again, when you guys start using science and God, you will understand that, things correlate. You know what I'm saying? It's not our sun, but it's light. You see? See the planets orbiting. It's in slow motion. See the different colors? See how it's changing colors? You see what I'm saying, jokers? Well, how is that happening? Well, the sun is down here radiating and reflecting its light to us. And it comes in a circle because our atmosphere, okay. So we know this. Okay, there is no sun simulator in the sky. There's no reflector. You couldn't keep it in a stationary orbit even if you tried. Okay, it would take 10,000 people at NASA 24 hours a day to keep adjusting for everything that is constant in the universe. Which you guys don't seem to even begin to, oh, yeah, right. Okay, sure. Right. Who's going to replace the light bulb? Just envision this. You got a wall in your bedroom. You draw a 6 foot high, 6 foot wide circle. Then you take a pen light and you go right up to the wall. You move it 1 centimeter away. That's 1,000 miles from Earth. Doesn't light up much, does it? So you'd have to move it back. Or do you need thousands of them? So you move it back. Okay. When you move it back, not only do you have to enlarge the array, you also have to increase the wattage. So again, obviously it wouldn't light up, the Earth because of the curvature. So you'd have to move it back. You also need one for the southern hemisphere because you couldn't light up both sides with one array. See, look at that. So you couldn't do that. Then you can't answer other basic questions. Like, why is Jupiter and Saturn and Venus brighter than normal? Can't answer basic questions. If there's a simulator out there, how you going to light the planets on the night side? Yeah, right. Good one. Sure. Right. Wouldn't comets go into a low? We wouldn't see comets on the night side because they would not be burning. They would go dark. And it's the dragon. See? For those you don't know. It's going to be an ugly one with teeth. Told you. It's biblical up in here. You guys over here spewing at the mouth. See them go around. They got big. So your sun simulator theory is pretty much out the door. Your reflector and mirror is out the door. So let's begin to extrapolate what's really going on. Why is the sun a different color? Well, Planet X system went around the sun, igniting the core, making it burn hotter and brighter. That's why it looks more whitish. Second of all, how do we get these upside down rainbows? Well, that's the reflection of the planet coming in the Earth, reflecting off of the water vapors. Okay, yeah, sure. He's like, okay, well, how can you prove it? Well, just check the spectrum. That's all you got to do. If you guys did that, you would say, hey, something's wrong. Told you it would get T. See? Only God can formulate a pattern to all this mayhem. And you guys ain't even begun to do it. Then he quoting the book. You know, that's false prophet. Talking about this, that. Same with doomsday. Yeah, you trying to be God, predicting the end of the world. Good one. Sure, tell that to your maker when he comes. Yeah, look at him, Mr. Dragon. Told you that, T. See? And the planet whooshing around. See? And then whoosh, you see the one with the dots? And you see 7. And it's going to get biblical up in here. We always do. 7. Where's the other one? There's always 3 of them. 7. You see? A red 7, green, and boom. Down there. That's how we roll. See, that's a big planet. That's why they call it the planet of the crossing, because they cross the sun. Whoosh. They cross the sun. That's why they call it the planet of the crossing. See what I'm saying? And I've captured about 290 of those crossings. So there you go. So your sun simulator and all that junk science need to go. You need to get right. You need to understand. Because God has spoken his word and most of y'all ain't listening. Y'all just spewing at the mouth. Not talking right. Not giving, the Almighty props. See, there it goes. See how they going? See how they orbiting? See. Down there. See the planet down there. So all you guys who keep spewing that dumb stuff, keep doing it. Just like flat earthers. You always had flat earth because the earth is flat. Man, only a dopehead would say that. Only a dopehead would say that. If the earth was flat, how come one can't see the Sears Tower from the Empire State Building? If the earth was flat, if a pilot flew straight, wouldn't he end up where he started from? If the earth was flat, everybody would have to see the same set of stars because we all be looking straight up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these things don't make sense. It just doesn't. Right? You'd be able to see the Eiffel Tower from the Statue of Liberty. Why not, right? It's a flat earth. You know what I'm saying? All we would need is one satellite, one big one. Why do we need 3 to get a line of sight? See, people don't know that. Line of sight is a military term. You need 3 satellites to boomerang around the earth. Can't do it with no less. See, that's what you fellas don't know. And you keep spewing at the mouth. Talking about flat earth. Petri dish. Living in a dome. Yeah. Right, sure. Look at that. It's a broken heart in the middle. Better not be. Oh, and here's some good news for you ladies before this video ends. For me, I take women in the Bible very prominent. Especially when it comes to Mary Magdalene. You got to understand that when the Romans came for Jesus, the men fled. And who was there that followed Jesus down the street while he carried the cross? Watched him spike the nails into his body. And then when they hoisted him up and he wailed, who was there? Mary and a few loyal followers. You understand? Mary was there through it all at the end. And then when she went to go decorate the body or whatever they do, you know, she found the tomb open, and, you know, of course, just the Shah. And then, you know, of course, then what happens? Who's the first person Jesus appears to? Mary. And what does Mary do? She goes and tells the men. So what does Mary actually become? The first Christian. She was the first one to preach the resurrection of Jesus. So she, in my book, is the first Christian. And, you know, because that's, you know, how it should be. And there's a heart for the ladies. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.